if we as a brand want to be there in the next 5, 10, whatever, 50 years, it's crucial for us to consider not only how our styles look and feel, but also the impact that they have. As a brand, our goal is to be the leading denim company that creates tomorrow's classics with respect for people and planet in a transparent manner. So when it comes to safe and circular materials, as well as circular design, these are all in alignment with our vision. So that's is why and how we embrace them. Regarding an example, this would be our design and creation of the world's first cradle-to-cradle gold certified denim fabric, which we introduced to the market as part of our most sustainable jeans and some other products back in February. So considering that we are a denim brand and jeans are our staple product, if you look at a pair of jeans, let's say 99% is made out of denim fabric. So this is why, as a starting point, we focused on designing and making the world's most sustainable denim fabric. To make this happen, we partnered with DyeStar and Artistic Milliners. DyeStar is a dye producer, indigo producer, and Artistic Milliners is a mill based out of Pakistan. So together we formulated the cleanest indigo technology to date, which uses 70% less chemicals. It requires no hydrosulfates and has no sulfide byproduct. Thus, it leaves a clean and recyclable water effluent. As a base fiber in this fabric, we chose the organic cotton, and of course, we manufactured the fabric at Artistic Milliners. Once we thought we had all of our ducks in a row, that we created this most sustainable fabric that we can envision, we said, let's put it through the cradle-to-cradle certification filter at a gold level. And fortunately for all of us, the result was the world's first cradle-to-cradle gold certified denim fabric, like whose chemistry presents zero risk for people and planet.
Keen is a footwear company. We focus on outdoor products principally, like hiking shoes and water sandals, but we also do work-related utility product. But really for us, fundamentally, why is what really drives our sustainability efforts. And it's really simple. It's about human health and the environment, right? We want to have safe, healthy working places. We want to have products that people wear that are not only functional, but they're actually also safe for their own bodies. And then obviously how we manufacture and where, we want to think about the environment. And really what that boils down for us is, I think for us on this long, slow journey, we were kind of awakened in the last 6 to 8 years with the Greenpeace Detox campaign. Keen is about 15 years old. And I think that was a real awakening, like, you know what, we need to begin to be paying attention around what goes into our products, not just we want good leather. And we made a vow to go down this idea of a detox journey, and we're definitely nowhere close to the finish line. And one of the things we chose to do early on is to eliminate fluorinated chemistry, PFCs, from all of our products. Whether we intentionally added it, like specking it like a non-wicking treatment, or it's a part of a process like a PU synthetic, like a coated polyurethane on your shoe. And so sometimes there's fluorinated chemistry inherent in that. And 4 years later, again, this long, slow journey, we have rid ourselves of fluorinated chemistry in north of 95% of our products. There's a few items where we still need some of the older type of chemistry to meet a performance standard. And really to sum this up, why around human health and the environment on this detox journey, it's really founded in this, if everyone can visualize a simple triangle, safe, effective, and affordable. So my role in this whole process is really around safe. No matter what we do on our detox journey, it has to meet our performance standards, period. We're selling products for certain reasons for people to go in the outdoors. And if they don't keep your feet dry or keep you from slipping on rocks, then we're putting people in danger. And then the third piece there is affordability, safe, effective, and affordable. And the reality is, if we can't manage for affordability, for costing, working with the merchandising team and the sourcing offices, then it doesn't fly. So it's a really a fine balance for us.
Method is a mission-driven brand, and part of that mission is you're making products that are made with safer chemistries and ultimately more sustainable products. Some of the key things we look to do, as previously mentioned, are look for less toxic materials, things that are safer for human health, things that are better for the environment. And along with that, we're also trying to kind of dematerialize our product portfolio and use less resources, because we know that's, a longer term, more sustainable approach. We're a design and innovation company, so material health and material reutilization were things that we became very, very good at. But recently, we had the privilege of opening up our own facility, and we weren't experts in energy or water use, and so we had some guidelines and some references there that we could utilize as we moved into kind of that new chapter of our company, where we took on own manufacturing for a number of our products. Completely changed the structure of our supply chain. With close to 70% of our products now manufactured in-house, our secondary suppliers became our primary suppliers. We became personally accountable for our movers and makers, who are our coworkers that actually run the production facility. So being able to, reference a framework, have the cradle-to-cradle guidelines, go deeper on material health, be able to kind of engage our suppliers firsthand with clear set criteria, really helped us, be clear on what our expectations were and work to have the best quality ingredients in our products in our facilities.
What needs to change is we need to have a systemic change in general, because we are, all the problems that we are encountering are coming from the linear economy models, which are take, make, and waste. So in order to move on to the circularity, where we can circulate the value of the materials, first we have to clean up, I guess, all the bad stuff that we have around, find some kind of use how to make them circular. But most importantly, if we really want to build things for the future, we have to create good materials from the bottom up. So that means that, like Fashion Positive, for example, we are working as a group to create pre-competitive materials, to working together with different brands so that we can have a circular polyester, that we can have a circular leather, that we can have circular or alternatives to leather. I think it's a lot of cleaning up and also thinking about the future, how we can design with intent, because before we never designed with intent to reuse something or give it a new life. And the only way to go forward is actually to think in those terms.
You don't have to be an expert. I believe I'm capturing him a little bit. It's like, for a company like Keen, we're in a medium-sized business. I'm not a chemical management expert. I focus more on the strategy, and then work with smart people at your suppliers, with your factories, working groups, and really kind of like, I think the pre-competitive piece has been a real driver for us in terms of innovation. But I think flipping innovation on its head here, I'm thinking out loud, really for us, going back to that detox journey, the specific example of PFCs using fluorinated chemistry for durable water repellency, to keep your shoes dry or your jacket dry. We realized we were using it in places we didn't need it. About 70% of our product, in terms of volume, we were treating it on our water sandals. They're water sandals. They're going to get wet. So why do we need that? Why do we need that technology on there? And so we eliminated our annual usage by about 70%. 4 years ago, we put the products in the marketplace. We didn't tell consumers. We wanted to see how they reacted. We wanted to build confidence internally. This idea of safe, effective, and affordable. We found a safe alternative. We found something that we believed was effective, and arguing a little bit on affordability. We're finally there now.
There's a number of things, and I think one of the things that we've recognized as a business is that the more circular you choose to be, just the more accountable you ultimately are. And what I mean by that is that when you're working in a space like we do, where we optimize the amount of recycled material that we use, and in the case of PET plastic, we use 100% post-consumer recycled resin. That resin is coming from somewhere. It's coming from a supplier who's reprocessed it. Up front of that supplier, it's coming from a recycler that sorted it and collected it. And before that, you kind of don't know where it came from. So it forces us to do a couple things differently. Number one is you don't just work with your supplier, but you work with your supplier's supplier to set specifications and and kind of understand the type of materials that they're receiving. And one of the really interesting things that we've done, the Method brand really utilizes, a lot of color at shelf to really bring the products to life. We're pretty disruptive in a mundane cleaning product category, and that's something we've developed a lot of capability in. But if you kind of remember back to primary school, when you were using those color wheels and your yellow and blue and your red and putting that all together to make different colors stand out at shelf. Well, the type of material that we source, because it's not virgin, because it isn't pumped out of the earth, because it's been through hopefully a few industrial cycles before it even gets to us, the material from a color standpoint tends to degrade. So a couple things that we had to do differently was kind of step outside of our categories and bring in new measurements and new controls. We adopted clarity and translucency standards that aren't typically seen in manufacturing in our space. And then the other thing we did, which I think is extremely clever, is we actually worked with those materials. So some of the graying and some of the greening that you'll see that kind of changes the translucency or the essence of color that you get. We actually started using that against our dyes and capturing it. So if a bottle was green, we would use less green dye and still get the same, vibrant color at shelf, which was a really creative way to actually open up the feedstocks and accept lower quality material, but to still produce like the same consumer experience at shelf.
We also had to find partners who were on the same page when it comes to wanting to revolutionize the denim industry and who are actually willing to go through this intense certification process, who are open also to optimization and also unparalleled levels of transparency when it comes to the entire supply chain. And that's something also Ryan mentioned that they also had to go through. So I think the most significant is probably this unparalleled level of transparency with the partners that we work with.
From an organizational standpoint, I would just offer that, C2C is very forward thinking. It's beyond regulatory, and we've really used that kind of with our leadership team to bring a little bit of value where, we can, use the endpoints, use some of the resources that are available, and we can, predict or see what's coming 2 to 3 years ahead of regulatory actions or, material sanctions or things of that nature, and really do chemical evolutions or formula changes or material substitutions on our own timeline. And, a lot of times that ability to change at your own pace and create your own timelines is extremely valuable for an organization.
Cleaning products are often low value products for the user. They want the cheapest one or the most high performing. How do you communicate the material health dimension to your customers? Does this add value to the product?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Ryan. Hopefully you stuck with us. Great question. I think that, just to answer that, pretty specifically, I would kind of tease apart the value of the product versus the long-term value of our brand. And when someone goes into a store and buys a Method or an EcoVare product, we want you to buy that product because you think it looks cool and it works great and it smells great. And the design, innovation, and the efficacy of the product and the experience is what we want you to buy the product for. And yeah, being a low-value product, we do pay more, 20 to 50% at times for better quality materials. But at the price points that we sell at, that's not really an incremental dollar amount. So, a product that you may be able to get for $199, you could get our product for $279, for instance. So you're really, while it is on a percentage basis much more, people are willing to pay kind of that incremental difference for a product that, looks cool and smells great.